Happy Monday, everyone, and happy birthday, Raquel. I hope you have the best birthday, the best day ever. You are a very, very special individual in our world, in our gym, in my life. You are an amazing individual. I cannot speak more highly about one person in our world. Now, in terms of today, our workout today is going to be a lot of movement because Raquel, you are a fantastic mover and a lover of movement, and you've taken that practice to a whole new level for yourself as years have gone by, and watch that evolve. And we're going to have some fun with that today in this workout for everyone. So I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope you just have some fun with it. So in terms of our today, what we have a plank to down dog for 3 to 5, side plank reach through for 15 seconds of side, forearm plank rock of 20 seconds, and a single leg RDL plus good morning with rotation for 3 aside. So we'll walk you through that kind of flow back and forth. 1 to 2 rounds of that. We're going to move into some dumbbell work. We're going to use the Dumbbell Sumo Deadlift for 3, Dumbbell Sumo Deadlift high pull for 2, Dumbbell Snatch plus press. This is going to show up in your workout. And then a back lunge with rotation for 3 aside. That's also going to show up in your workout, and we'll kind of walk you through that today of how to do that in multiple different ways. So this little piece right here is going to be just a nice practice round. We're going to go through some movement and have some fun with it. Our work set today is going to consist of 5 rounds of work. You will work for 40 seconds and you will rest for 20. So it's going to be a 40-20 on-off kind of work set. 5 rounds of work, squat plus burpee for 40 seconds, just nice and smooth, getting into a good flow, or squat plus squat thrust. Then you'll rest for 20 seconds. You're going to move into a plank to down dog plus side lunge. Side plank. I should say side plank. All right. Plank to down dog plus side plank. 40 seconds of just continuous movement. We'll go through that. We have done that in the past in our warm-up. They're going to go into 20 seconds of rest. Then we're going to move into a back lunge with rotation. We're going to alternate back and forth for 40 seconds. And there's a few different variations of this we can play with today in this workout, and I'm going to show you all of them on this video. 20 seconds, and then you're going to move into a dumbbell snatch plus press, which we practice in our warm-up. And we're going to have to stay pretty light with a lot of these movements today. So in terms of your loading, this is going to be lighter than you would expect. I want you to make sure that you can move continuous for the 40 seconds. So it's not about the loading in this work set. It's all about the movement and movement quality. And that's what I want you guys to play with today with this one here. So let's have some fun today. Let's go through this work set. Let's get you prepped. And I'm stoked to get you guys moving in this mat. So pause it. If you need to do anything quick, get some gear together, do it up. Let's start warming up. All right, let's get those feet under the hips. We'll take the arms big and tall up overhead. I'm just going to stretch it over to one side, get a good side bend in there. We'll stretch it to the other side. We'll come through, give ourselves a little shrug. Pull those shoulders down. We'll take it all the way to the floor, touching those toes. We're going to walk up those shins, nice flat back. We're going to come down, framing a foot. We'll step back into your lizard, nice and square. Nice and strong here. We'll take that inside hand to the sky. Rotate forearm to the floor. We'll come back up, and then rotate forearm to the floor, back up, and then rotate forearm to the floor, and back up. We'll plant the hand. We'll step back into our down dog, reaching through those hips. Nice set shoulders. We'll come back into our plank. We'll step the other foot up. Nice solid lizard. We'll take that inside hand to the ceiling and rotate forearm to the floor. Up, rotate, forearm to the floor, back up, and rotate, forearm to the floor, and back up. We'll plant the hand, step back, into that down dog again. We're going to settle in, strong shoulders. Let's take our left hand to our right toe, bring that right hand to our left toe, and do that again, one more per side, stable and strong, and then come back into that plank. Nice strong shoulders. Tiptoe those feet all the way up. We're going to roll ourselves all the way up. Big stretch. Big reach to one side, to the other side. We'll come down with the arms. Get you guys fired up. Let's get ready to do some movement. Now, if there's any extra kind of movement you got to take down, maybe it's for the arms, some band work, maybe a little lower body love, who knows? Let's get ourselves ready to go. And then start that first phase of warm-up. All right, let's kickstart off with a little plank to down dog action. So we're gonna wake up our shoulders a little bit because we're gonna spend a little bit of time using those things today. So let's get our arms set up in that nice strong plank just outside the shoulders. We're gonna push the floor away, pull the ribs in, nice and active. We're gonna pull those hips back and up, softening the knees and pushing through the floor. So we're nice and strong through those shoulders, nice and active the entire time. And then as we come back into our plank, we're gonna actively push that floor away to maintain that shoulder position. So again, when we move through this flow, we want to make sure that we're actively pushing the floor away as we transition into that overhead position all the way through, keeping those ribs in and keeping that shoulder action nice and strong. We're not losing our neck though. We're keeping that shoulder down as we push through the floor, push through those arms. So really nice and strong all the way through. Now our next movement is a side plank reach through, and that's a little tough in terms of balancing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ourselves set up in our side plank. Our shoulder is stacked over top of our hand. Our other hand is reaching to the ceiling, and we're gonna come through, reaching as best we can to the back, and then come back through, reaching up to the sky. So we're taking our time as we rotate through, trying to bring our shoulders towards the floor, and then come back into that nice side plank. Now, if you're looking at that going, Dave, I can hold a side plank, but the balance is just not quite there just yet. We can do a supported side plank. So we get ourselves set up in our table. We lower that knee down. We extend our leg out to the back, turn it to the side, and open up the hip, and then take it to that supported side plank. And then from here, I'm going to do that same rotation. So I'm closing that body off as I reach through, and then I come back open. Don't have to worry about the balance as much. I still do, still have to work the balance, but I can allow myself to work on that rotation just a little smoother than I could if I was in that full side plank. So take your time, use that. The rotation is what we're after mostly in this work set, so try and use that rotation to the fullest and get that body moving well. Our next exercise is still gonna kind of be on the floor. We're gonna move into our forearm plank rock. So our elbows are going to come stacked under our shoulders. I'm going to push the floor away, step back into our forearm plank. I'm going to maintain this strong plank position. And I'm going to pull my elbows towards my toes, but my body's going to pull forward because my feet are connected to the floor. So we want to make sure we're thinking about pulling down, but my forearms are connected to the ground, my toes are connected to the ground, so it's only going to mean I'm going to get dragged forward, and that's what we're looking for. The key thing with this forearm plank rock is you're going to take it as far forward as you feel comfortable in your elbows and as comfortable as you can maintain that core position. So we don't want to sag through that midsection as we're pulling farther forward. On the same token, when we pull or push back into our forearm plank, we want to make sure our body's going level and not shooting up into a down dog or a dolphin position. So we want to make sure we're really focusing on keeping that nice level plank. Now from here, we're going to give our arms and core a rest. We're going to work on a little bit of lower body stuff. So we're going to stand up nice and tall. We're going to do a little combo movement, single leg RDL plus single leg good morning with rotation. So we're going to get ourselves set up for that RDL. Hips are square, nice and tall. We're going to draw the hip back into that nice hinge. So I feel that hamstring say hello. I'm going to stand tall. I'm going to bring the back leg through. Set my hands. Hips are square. Pull into that same hinge. And then rotate towards the lead leg. And stand tall. Then that leg will come back into my kickstand. I'll reset the hands, the hip, draw back. Feel that hamstring kick on. Stand tall. Leg comes through. Knuckle. Pull back. And rotate. And stand. So we'll take our time resetting that position each time to make sure I'm in that good square hip position, nice and tall, nice and active, so I can move with good quality for each movement in that combo. Now as a quick recap, we have a plank to down dog for 3 to 5 reps, side plank reach through for 15 seconds per side, Take in your time there. You're not going to get a ton of reps here, and that's okay. Forearm Plank Rock for 20 seconds, and then just moving back and forth, nice and smooth in that positioning, with a single leg Rdl and good morning rotation to close out our day. So we have a 3-rep set per side on that movement. So you're going to just alternate back and forth for 3 reps total per side, and then continue on 1 to 2, maybe even a 3rd round to get that body moving. It's Monday, so you might want to give yourself that time to move well. Pause the video, take that down, check the body over. We're going to get some dumbbells out, have some fun with that, and see where these movements take us. All right, we're going to kickstart off our next phase with some dumbbell skill work. And we're going to start with some Sumo Deadlifts into a high pull, into a snatch. Now the piece that's attached to the snatch now is a press. I prefer it to be a shoulder press, but if you don't have a weight that's light enough to shoulder press, you can push press it. But it's going to be the same weight into this flow. So I want you guys to make sure that you have a light enough load that you can shoulder press or use the push press. Don't gear it to the snatch, because most people can snatch more than what they're going to shoulder press overhead. So please keep that in mind. It's not about the snatch, it's about the press. Now I'm going to stand over top of this dumbbell, right so it cuts my foot in half. So it's in between my feet. I'm nice and upright, nice and tall. I'm going to draw my hips back so I'm in that good hinge like I was working on my RDL. I'm going to lower myself down towards the dumbbell, which is a little deeper than it normally would be if I was going to do conventional deadlift. Now from here, I'm going to push through my legs and stand tall. I need to get myself set up, draw back and down to wherever I feel comfortable, and then push through those legs again, standing tall. Now with this hinge, I want you guys to make sure that we're simulating the snatch positioning, not so much a traditional deadlift. Now from here, we're going to move into that high pull. So we're going to start building some speed. So we're going to take it to that same position that we were at for our deadlift. We're going to push through the legs, build some speed, guiding the dumbbell to that high and outside position. So I draw my body down, I feel my balance, push through the legs, drive into that nice high pull, and I get myself kind of guiding that dumbbell close to the body, but keeping it nice and smooth. So again, one more time, good position, building speed, guiding that dumbbell to the outside in that high and outside position. Now our next movement is what we're actually doing in the workout, snatch to press. So I'm going to take myself down, get myself ready. I'm going to do a dumbbell snatch, pushing through those legs, building some speed, get myself set, then I bring the dumbbell down, and I press. I come back down to the hip, I take it to the floor, snatch, come down, and press. So I'm working on joining those 2 movements together. So I have my dumbbell snatch, I pull the dumbbell down to the shoulder, and then press it overhead. Now if the dumbbell is too heavy, all right, to do that press as a strict press, what you can do is set up for the snatch, do the snatch, set up, pull it down, and push press. You can use that dip position and the drive to get that dumbbell moving in that good push press if you'd like. But again, if we can, I'd like to gear towards the shoulder press opposed to the push press if we can. Now our next movement is going to be a back lunge with rotation. And there's a few different things we're going to do with this. Now back lunging is challenging as it is. We can play around with a few different options. But the movement as is, what we're looking at, I'm going to hold my dumbbell up under my chest, all right, with dumbbells. I am going to take a step back, lower, rotate, come back through, stand. I'll step, lower, rotate towards that front leg, and stand. Okay? So I'm going to work on that rotation and stand. So that's what we're looking at for our back lunge to rotation. In the beginning, if we're a little bit more, you gotta get used to this a little bit, we can back lunge, knee comes down, rotate, come back up. As it gets more comfortable, we can step, rotate at the same time, come back up to standing, and be okay. So that was it with the dumbbell. Now, without any weight, we do the same thing. What we would look at is stepping back, lowering, rotate, come back up. Okay? From the side, looks like so. Step, down, rotate, come back up. Or step, rotate, come back up. So all of the normal kind of key positions of our lunge are still there. Lead knee over the heel. My body's as vertical as I can so I can get that nice rotation, and my back knees under the hip, under the shoulder. So I'm nice and stacked there. Now if a dynamic lunge is super challenging, and it's one of those things where you're like, oof, I have a hard time with the step and managing my body position, that's fine. We can work on our standing lunge, loaded or not loaded, and as we take that knee down, we rotate and come back up. We rotate and come back up. And we'll work that standing lunge variation to allow ourselves to play with a little bit of rotation and a little bit more dynamicness in that lunge. We would do 20 seconds on one side, 20 seconds on the other side. Now, if the lunge itself is really challenging, what we can also play with is a kneeling lunge. So we get set up in this down position, nice and tall, kneeling hip with a load, and we work on taking our body to the side in that rotation, come back through. Take it to the side, come back through. I want to work that rotation, loaded or not, in that kneeling lunge position. So we can build off of that in multiple different ways. The key thing here is we're getting that lunge position. We're working on stabilizing the pelvis in that nice position, and then working a little bit of T-spine and upper body rotation as we move through. So in the workout, we're going to be alternating back and forth. In our warm-up, we're just going to stick with one side for 3 reps, the other side for 3 reps, just so we can get a feel for that movement as we work on staying nice and upright and working on that good range of motion. So as a quick recap, we have a nice dumbbell sumo deadlift for 3, dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull for 2, dumbbell snatch plus press for 1 to 3 reps, repeat on the other side, and then you'll move into a back lunge with rotation. Again, if you'd like to start without load, you can start that without load, or you can use all of those variations to build to the final variation with load, that step, and that rotation. So you can kind of play around with any of those pieces to get yourself warmed up and ready to go. Now pause the video, take this down, work on some of these skills. We're going to come at you with a nice little review of all the movements in our workout today. So I hope you guys enjoy, but take some time, get yourself squared away with these so that when they come up in the workout, you have your working weight and you know what's going down for the work set. All right, you guys, we've made it to the work set. So our first exercise today is going to be a squat plus burpee. And it's exactly what it sounds like. So you're going to do 1 full air squat into a burpee, and then you're going to do repeat. So squat, burpee, squat, burpee, squat, burpee. Now if you're looking at that going, whoa, I don't do burpees, I do squat thrusts. That's fine. Squat, squat thrust. And you'll work on that flow. So what it's going to look like, I'm going to get my feet in my natural kind of squat stance, so my hip to shoulder width stance. I'm going to do the best air squat I can do, drawing my hips to my heels, knees tracking the toes, and I stand tall. Then I'll flow down into my burpee, stand tall, all right? My feet are already back in my squat stance, and I'll repeat, stand, burpee. And I'll go that for 40 seconds. Now with that movement set, all the key points apply to that burpee. If you normally step back, step in. If you jump back, step in. Any of those options we normally show for our burpees, you can do those options. Now if you're a squat thruster, same thing. We would set up our squat stance, we squat, we stand, we come down, pop in, pop up, find that position. And hopefully, we've placed our feet in that beautiful squat stance and we're ready to go into our next rep. So that can be really helpful for us to play with in this work set. As we work through that movement set, we find that squat stance every single time when we finish that burpee, so there's not a lot of foot movement going on, and we just get that nice smooth flow from exercise to exercise. So we're getting a good squat, we're getting a good press or a good explosive hip extension with that squat thrust to get ourselves prepped. So So we're just gonna take that back and forth for 40 seconds. Then you're gonna rest for 20. And you're gonna come back into your plank to down dog plus side plank. So what we're looking at here is getting ourselves into a plank position, feet are apart. You're gonna pull back up into your down dog, and you're gonna flow into your side plank. You're gonna come back through into your down dog, come back in to your side plank. You're gonna alternate back and forth, nice and smooth, nice steady flow into those movements as you enjoy that nice full range of motion from the shoulders. Passing through that nice plank every time. Now if you're looking at that going, I normally support that side plank. You can still do that in here again. We set that plank up. We hit the down dog. We come through our plank, lower the knee, rotate to side plank, come back through into our down dog, come back in, lower the knee, set the side plank, open that up, and then come back in to that plank. So we're working on going back and forth, just lowering that knee, getting ourselves into a good flow as we go from side to side. Our next exercise is the back lunge rotation. So again, whatever movement you chose to choose in that opening warm-up or wherever you decided upon, loaded, unloaded, kneeling, standing position, please rock that. You'll do alternating back and forth if you're choosing the full back lunge rotation. If you're doing a standing option, you'll do 20 seconds on one leg, switch, 20 seconds on the other leg. Same idea with the kneeling options, 20 and 20. So we're gonna work through that for 40 seconds, working on that nice smooth rotation and that nice lunge position. Now last but not least is our dumbbell snatch plus press. So we were doing reps on the same side. I'm gonna do a few reps to show you guys what it looks like when you alternate, and you can get into a pretty good flow with this movement set. So all the same rules of the snatch apply. We get ourselves in that good bottom position, that nice back position. I snatch the dumbbell, I stand, I press, and I come down, switch hands. Snatch, come down, and press, switch hands. And I'm gonna work on that nice and smooth for 40 seconds. Just getting into the opportunity to move back and forth and cycle that dumbbell with that added press. Now if you're looking at using the push press, do the same idea. You would come down into that push press and then continue on. Again though, the goal of these movements is not to be overloaded. The goal is to have a challenging load that you can continually use for that 40-second flow and not have to stand around for too long to rest and break it down. You want to move nice and fluidly and nice and smooth. After that, you'll rest for 20 seconds and you'll do it all over again for 5 rounds. It's going to be a lot of movement, it's going to be a lot of flow, a lot of work. It takes about 20 minutes to take down, so I hope you guys enjoy. I hope this brings you so much joy on this Monday, because Raquel, we love you very, very much. I cannot speak it enough. You're an amazing coach, you're an amazing athlete, most of all, you're an amazing mother, and you're an amazing friend. So you are the total package in my world, and I love you more than the world will ever know. Have a great day, you guys. Enjoy, all right, your day, and I hope you work for quality and have a ton of fun. See you tomorrow for some more fun. Bye, you guys.